We have a statement now here from Disney. Disney is putting out this statement in response to a report earlier that the shooter here in this case may have gone to Disney World here in Orlando. Obviously, if you talk about Orlando, Florida, you're really talking about the big hometown company, Disney. The report is he may have gone there, may have considered other targets to strike other than the Pulse nightclub. So Disney now putting out a statement in which they say, during this time, we have increased our security measures across our properties, adding such visible safeguards as magnetometers, additional canine units, and law enforcement officers on site, as well as less visible systems that employ state-of-the-art security technologies. Now, earlier today, we heard from the director of the FBI, James Comey, who laid out exactly what the FBI is starting to discover about the shooter here and the atrocity in Orlando. Here's what he had to say.
During the calls, he said he was doing this for the leader of ISIL, who he named and pledged loyalty to. But he also appeared to claim solidarity with the perpetrators of the Boston Marathon bombing and solidarity with a Florida man who died as a suicide bomber in Syria for al-Nusra Front, a group in conflict with the so-called Islamic State.
So the FBI director there laying out the 3 phone calls that law enforcement had with the shooter during the course of the attack, 2 in which he called 911, 1 in which the 911 operator called him back in a desperate attempt to communicate with him. We're also learning a couple of other details here in terms of the communications devices, at least so far. Officials are saying that there's no indication here that there was an iPhone in this shooter's possession. Remember, that was such a big point of contention in the wake of the San Bernardino shooting out in California, so no indication that this shooter had an iPhone. Also, Mateen's phones are being sent to Quantico for FBI's examination, so they have obtained phones. Those are being sent off to a lab at Quantico. The FBI will clearly do everything they can to figure out who he was communicating with and if there was any broader conspiracy here. So far, they have said that there's no indication now, Bill, that any of this was directed from any place overseas. Back over to you.
This may be hard to answer, but can you give us a sense of the mood there in the surrounding neighborhood where Pulse is located? I mean, you know, we have too much experience with all these shootings now in San Bernardino and Belgium and elsewhere. Clearly, it's only been a couple of days, but give us a sense of how people are responding in the aftermath at this point.
Yeah, Bill, this is a community that has just been devastated by this attack. I mean, you're talking about 49 victims dead, 50 plus injured, surgeries overnight at the hospital here behind us. I was at the hotel yesterday where they were notifying the family members of the people who had been killed, and I've just never seen a more heartbreaking scene than I saw yesterday as those families were finding out what had happened to the people that they cared about. Families were clutching each other, they were in tears, people were screaming, no, no, no. There were clergy members from every faith there to try to provide whatever support they could, but they just couldn't take away the painful sting of that news yesterday, Bill.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the I right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.